Published 1800 Est, the 25th of November 2017. Updated 2050 Est, the 25th of November 2017. Burnley's Euro 2016 hero Johan Gudmundsson won't mind dishing out the Cristiano Ronaldo treatment to Arsenal at Turf Moor on Sunday if it helps maintain the Claret's outstanding form this season. Gudmundsson was one of the Iceland players condemned by Ronaldo for having a small mentality after the underdogs defended valiantly to pull off a 11 draw with Portugal at last year's European Championship. Burnley, sitting proudly in 7th place in the Premier League, may go into their game against Alexis Sanchez and Mesut Ozil with the same attitude despite being level on points with Arsenal, and Gudmundsson makes no apologies for it. 7th-placed Burnley are ready to go on the defensive against Arsenal on Sunday. Ronaldo was angry. He knew he had played well. "We were unbelievable defensively. What was he expecting, that we would come out guns blazing trying to play football?" remarks the midfielder, who then helped his country beat England 21 later in the tournament. "You have to sit back against the bigger teams sometimes, and it's the same against Arsenal. Arsenal are unbelievable at keeping the ball, and we have to try and frustrate them and mostly hit them on the counter-attack. Normally that is what you have to do as a lesser team. You just have to find a way to win games. For me it doesn't matter if it's ugly or not, as long as you get 3 points everybody is happy. It has to take the right characters to do that. We know some players will think they are bigger than having to do the defensive work, but there are only maybe 3 or 4 players in the world who can get away with not doing the defensive work. It's tough sometimes when you don't touch the ball for a long time, but if you get the 3 points at the end you don't care." Johan Gudmundsson was part of Iceland team who frustrated Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal. There are obvious comparisons between Gudmundsson's club and international teams. With a population of just 340,000, Iceland reached the quarter-finals of Euro 2016 and have just qualified for their first World Cup, while countries like Italy and Holland stay at home. Burnley also have the Thunderclap spirit, a town with just 73,000 inhabitants managing to defy the odds to keep pace with the Premier League's Big Six. They have beaten Chelsea, earned draws at Liverpool and Spurs, and kept clean sheets in the last 3 league games. "You can see there are similarities," he acknowledges. "There is great team spirit and no big egos, just everyone wanting to play football and work for each other. Team sport can be so weird. You don't have to have the most expensive team to do good things, and we showed that this season." The team play in the image of their manager, Sean Dyche. Gudmundsson, who has worked with world-class managers like Dick Advocaat, sees the Burnley boss as a future England manager. Burnley have defied the odds to keep pace with the Premier League's most powerful club. She's organised, puts on good training sessions and goes through the opposition really well, says Gudmundsson, explaining Dyche's assets. "Each week we know exactly what the strengths and weaknesses of the opposition are, and he demands performances from us. Every day in training we are 100%, we train extremely hard, we never turn up and do a session 50%. I've had some great managers over the years, he is doing an unbelievable job at Burnley to be fair, and I think he will even grow as a manager and hopefully one day manage England because I think he has the potential." At 27, Gudmundsson is at his peak. He suffered an anterior cruciate ligament injury as a schoolboy and failed to make the grade at Fulham, Chelsea and Coventry, but blossomed in Holland during 4 years at AZ Alkmaar before moving to England, first with Charlton and latterly Burnley. Sean Dyche is the 3rd longest-serving boss in Premier League, with Burnley flying high just 18 months ago. He and goalkeeper Nick Pope were relegated into League One with the Addicts before Dyche swooped and turned their careers around. The pair had their medicals at Turf Moor on the same day and live close to each other in South Manchester, driving into training together. Last season's corresponding fixture saw Arsenal win 10 with a debatable winner from Laurent Koscielny scored with his hand. Burnley's current form makes this far from a gimme for Arsene Wenger's side, and Gudmundsson also has a good history against certain Gunners stars. He once scored a hat-trick against Granit Xhaka Switzerland in qualification for the 2014 World Cup, and the England team he beat in Nice included Jack Wilshere. "We will go out there with no fear and try to find a way to win the game," he says. Iceland have shown what so-called small teams can do if all the players are willing to work for each other. Just 18 months ago, Gudmundsson and Nick Pope were relegated to League One with Charlton.